Yeah, look, before going in, I took a few notes, and I thought, I've seen the trailer. There's that huge nuclear explosion bit. I don't want that to feel like in Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, you know how Indiana Jones survives a nuclear blast, and you think, did they just do that just to see how much he can survive, kind of thing? Like,
it was more believable with Wolverine because of his ability.
Yeah, it was. And I've read some posts which say his hair wouldn't grow back so instantly and to the exact length and stuff like that. Like,
really?
Some people have criticized it, but indeed it was much better than Indiana Jones. I also thought there's a storyline, obviously, from the trailer where he might lose his powers. And I thought if they did that, it would be interesting because then Hugh Jackman can age with the role. But since Wolverine's mutant ability is the healing, like his claws and stuff isn't his mutant ability because that's when he was pumped with adamantium sort of thing. I mean, he could survive it because of his healing ability. If he no longer has a healing ability, he's no longer a mutant, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
So I thought then you can have Hugh Jackman gracefully age with the role. You know, maybe that would be an interesting twist to have him lose his powers in this one. But, I mean, there's so many iconic shots of when Wolverine gets shot with a bullet in the head or something, and then it just sort of, you know, reforms himself.
The liquid
and the
metal
bullet pops out.
How his face forms.
And the amount of times he got scratched with a blade in this film, and then he turns his head to the camera as he's healing, kind of thing. I mean, it's iconic, and you're not going to take away his power. What you're going to do is you're going to try and churn out as many X-Men films in the next 5 to 10 years as you can.
Yeah, squeeze it.
Yeah,
Squeeze
before he
that
starts to look too old.
Yeah.
But even then, I mean, there's like old-looking Wolverine in the comics. You know, he gets grizzlier and grayer and stuff, you know. So.
And I think as Hugh Jackman ages, that'll suit the role more and more.
And the final thing I wrote down was, I want this to be a great setup for the X-Men Days of Future Past. You know,
and spoilers for everyone in the credit sequence. You got it.
Oh yes, and I saw all that coming. When the house lights in the cinema don't go up until halfway through the credits, you know it's because there's more vision on the credits.
Oh, very clever. Okay.
But I mean, I was always going to hang around. The whole thing with superhero films is they plug another superhero film in the credits or after the credits. You know, those post-credit scenes have become, you know, synonymous with superhero and comic book films. So yeah, I was very excited to see Magneto and Charles Xavier again. I thought it was great. Very much looking forward to doing a podcast on X-Men Days of Future Past.
It's gonna be so awesome. I heard Bryan Singer's back in line for it.
Yep, and they're already shooting it.
Can't fail.
And look, I mean, it's going to wipe away X-Men The Last Stand, just to quickly go off topic about it, because it's going to be a time travel piece, and I've mentioned this in the upcoming films podcast we did, but it's a time travel piece, so you're going to go back in time. Wolverine's going to be the one who travels back in time, probably because due to his healing ability, he's the only one that can survive it, you know?
Yeah.
He goes back in time, changes something. Then I want to see Jean Grey not be dead, right?
Yeah.
But Cyclops also not be dead. So he saves her, but she's with another man. She's with Cyclops again, and she's still unattainable, you know?
Yeah.
That's the vision I'm imagining for Days of Future Past. I mean, it could be anything, couldn't it? There's so many people in this film, so many potential, you know, amazing things. Anyway, I could talk about it all day, and I will when we finally see it.
Just so everyone knows, we both grew up watching the cartoon series, and I actually read a lot of the comics when I was young, so this is a huge thing for us.
And look, I'm a huge fan as well of the old school Sega Mega Drive game of X-Men, where you can play as Nightcrawler, Gambit, Cyclops, or Wolverine. And
who's your favorite character in X-Men?
Cyclops was one of my favorites as well as Wolverine. I mean, it's hard to beat the sort of raw blasting power from his eyes, you know. Can
Gambit.
Sort of take on... Gambit. No, Cyclops.
Okay. I like Gambit.
You like Gambit?
Yeah, I like Gambit. I really wish... that's another thing I had problems with Wolverine, the origins. The Gambit character was just, wow, okay, just throw that down the drain.